all the white supremacist rhetoric and ideology, it comes from antiquity. It comes from Aristotle. On the white right and left, they're using Aristotle. Marx is using Aristotle. Fucking Waldo Emerson and them, they're following Aristotle. Aristotle are people who you would call proto-racists. Before race, these motherfuckers was finding a way to be racist, to say slavery is really good for the economy and it's natural.
Yeah.
That's what Aristotle said. It's natural for some people to be enslaved.
Yeah.
Some people are just slavish. You understand? And then they took that and they transmuted that and they used that to justify the enslavement of black people and the colonization of black people across the globe.
Yeah.
It's the same shit that they're using now against us.
Yeah.
These ideas about beauty and all of that shit come from that. The Greeks were obsessed with beauty. They was also obsessed with being pedophiles, but they were
which is how is that not present right now?
We're a whole present
right now.
And everybody's just like, yeah, it's normal to see commercials of people sticking themselves with insulin medication that
it's
other people need.
Big advertisements in Times Square, these big billboards with people sticking themselves with needles talking about, I'm happier now.
I was on Subway. Motherfucking GLP-1 ad was look better, feel better, be better. Damn near. Be better.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of
Hood Rap
to Head Wrap.
Straight up. In the place to be.
I haven't worn a head wrap on this episode in quite some time.
You ain't wearing a head wrap all year long.
No, that's not true at all. At all.
Are you changing?
No, I'm not changing. No, I'm not changing.
For those new listeners, they may not actually know what we mean by hood rat to head wrap.
Can you explain?
Hood rat to head wrap really represents our converging identities.
Yeah.
I'm a self-avowed, certified, confirmed hood booger. I just use hood rat for this ubiquity. I'm not, like whether I call myself a rat or not. It's just, that's a deeper conversation. But, I get hood rat. Those who know, niggas try to hide the good shit. Those who know. So it's for the real, the real niggas. I'm the real nigga faction. Erica a real nigga too, but I'm one of the card-carrying representatives and ambassadors.
Am I not a card-carrying?
You are a card-carrying member of this is the Real Nigga News Network, so we both real niggas. So at the end of the day, that's kind of what hood rat represents. And then we got head wrap, which is our very Pan-Africanist homage to the syncretic relationship, diasporic relationship between Black Americans and our African past. As I believe it was Kwame Nkrumah said that I'm not African because I was born in Africa. I'm African because Africa was born in me.
Okay.
For all you out there with these fake diaspora wars and shit, y'all need to be worn with them people.
But it's also, Ebony is also
plum-colored people.
Making it much bigger than what it was when we came up with this. What was it, 9 years ago at this point?
About 8 years ago.
8 years ago. I wore a lot of head wraps.
She did.
I wear a lot of head wraps.
Yeah.
I mean, I wear more bandanas now, I think.
Yeah.
But I still wear my head wraps. So
Erica used to wear scarves back in the 90s.
What you mean scarves? Those were head wraps.
No, like when people know, because you see the white girls now, what they trying to do, if y'all peep,
I'm not
the Bella Hadid, they're trying to
us.
I know, but remember when we used to go to bed at night, we used to wrap our hair, because I used to have real long hair as a child. We used to wrap our hair in scarves.
Yeah.
Now they're wearing the scarves and tying them back and having it like hang down.
How they do it?
They trying to have it hang down. The back of the scarf hang down like a do-rag, which that's something.
You know what my grandma would say when I would wear that? Now it's popular. So
Yes.
It's actually healing for me to wear head wraps. And I'm so grateful to Famjam and some of the other head wrap companies because they made it cool or like acceptable to wear in the day because I wore a head wrap to my prom.
Yeah, I saw that.
My grandma was like, why you got that rag on your head?
But we didn't call it head wrap.
No, they said rag.
No, we did call it rag.
My
like your grandma
said rag.
Your grandma, she's a real nigga. She's from East Oakland.
She's not from East Oakland. She's from East Baltimore.
But the same difference. It's the same thing. It might as well be the same place. East Detroit, East Baltimore.
Get that rag off your head. When you go outside, take that rag off. She was mortified. And it was beautiful. It was a lace head wrap that matched in my dress. It was a split. But instead of it being a split, it was lace. So the lace from the split matched the lace head wrap.
Back in them days.
I made that dress. I went to a designer and had it made.
Wow. Where is it?
I don't know. I had it for a long time.
Yeah.
I wonder if my stepmom still has it. She don't save nothing from me.
For her other daughter. You said my other daughter.
Stepmom trauma.
Well, we're not going to get into all of that. We could. For those of y'all out there who are step parents, we could get into that. It shouldn't be no step. It should just be the second parent. It shouldn't be no step.
Okay.
We didn't grow up like that. Half and all that. Black people don't really practice that.
My siblings half. I don't call them half.
No, we never grew up like that.
But that's the origin of our name. If you are unfamiliar, maybe even you've been listening for a while and you didn't know. I don't even know if we've explained it.
Yes.
Maybe we haven't.
I don't think we have. We have a fair amount of new listeners. People have been messaging me. I really, really greatly appreciate y'all. Yes. All of those who have just joined in.
Hi, YouTube crew.
Hi, the new YouTube. The people who are more like, I want to look and it's better to view visually or it's more convenient. Whatever it is, more accessible for you. I'm happy that that is the case. And we thank you so much. We also want to thank our supporters on Patreon for keeping this G thing ad-free and independent. This is a independent listener-supported podcast, and I'll have more in the description of this episode how you can support monetarily if that's something you want to do or in a position to do. And also, if you're not in a position to do, you like, you know what I'm saying, my Funyuns is, you know what I'm saying? You like me, what? I'm in between my Funyuns. I'm in between. I'm in between. I need my
Funyuns. My mom used to eat those all the time.
My Funyun and my Funyuns. Yeah, Funyuns.
Funyuns. Yeah. The chips.
I remember them Funyuns. My chip. My Funyuns.
The chips. You
see what I say? See, she a real nigga. I told you. She figured that out with context.
I'm just from the suburbs. I don't always understand what Ebony is talking about.
Well, for those of us that's in between, because a lot going on.
It's a lot. We're
in effect. We're not just in a recession. We're in a racial, capitalist, white supremacist patriarchy.
100%.
So you know what that means for those of us who don't fit the bill inside of whiteness, who don't have sort of all the benefits conferred to them by whiteness or white cisgender maleness, all that type of shit that we talk about routinely in this podcast. Whatever the case may be, you can also support by liking this, sharing it with your networks, sharing it with your friends, sharing it with your families, and subscribing. And you can hit the motherfucking subscribe button that's somewhere on your interface right now.
Hit it.
I don't know how to put it up here, so you can hit it. But once I learn how to do that, we gonna do it.
We gonna put it. Okay, so y'all requested, you enjoyed last episode about desirability. We said in the episode that we need to have a part 2. We felt like we weren't finished. No. So this is our part 2 of desirability.
Yes.
So we're just going to get into it. We don't have guests this time. I know y'all liked guests. If you have any recommendations of people you would like to see on the podcast, please let us know.
Maybe even yourself.
Yes, let us know.
And we do have some guests slated. But for this particular episode, I think the way these podcasts kind of start off is that me and Erica be talking about this stuff. Yes. We really don't sit down and be like, what we gonna talk about on the podcast?
We have a podcast before the podcast is actually recorded.
Literally.
And then when we go home, Ebony is constantly irritated that the podcast that we had that was not recorded doesn't sound like the recorded podcast.
I'm working on my perfectionism. It's really not.
I'm so glad you said that.
Actually, I'm not saying that to. It's really not good.
You're telling on yourself.
No, it's not good.
Where does that come from? Because I think that's also inside of desirability.
Yes, absolutely. To be perfect.
Yes, to appear like things are perfect, because that's not a thing. So where does that come from?
I mean, I have a long answer. Are you asking
I'm your therapist.
Are you asking me the long? No,
what is the origin?
I mean, the origin lies without. It didn't come from me. It didn't come from me.
This is too deep. Where does it come from? Which parent, your mama or your auntie, was talking about, was inside a profession, or was it a teacher or a friend or the world?
I think growing up in the hood, you have to develop defenses against whatever unanticipated cruelty, violence that we learn to mete out on one another, because the white world is meting it out on us. You have to learn how to maneuver that. And the way that I figured out how to maneuver that is I was like, well, I'm going to one-up people with either my charm or my cruelty. So if y'all been fucking talking shit about me, I'm going to do so to you with a dramatic flourish. I'm going to go for broke, essentially. I'm going to take you talking shit. I'm going to show you how that I really do this. So that was a way to be like, okay, people mess with me, picking on me or something, and they be like, okay, Ebony got heart. That's what they said. So I'm not gonna fuck with Ebony because they got heart. Woo, woo. So you have to know. You gotta know how to fight. You gotta know how to use your hands. You gotta know how to use your mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? To survive and to survive that environment where we are all being told and taught that there's nothing of value here in the hood. It's a place to get out of. Even the people are not valuable. So the people are the place. It's that relationship to the place and the land and the space. And really, we're being told that you live in these conditions because of you. It's your fault. You've invited that into your life. And so as children growing up, we don't necessarily understand that, but we understand, I don't like this person. Or that person is fat. Or that kid is not, they don't have Jordans. Or when I was coming up in school, it was the Jordans, but also it was cell phones were very early on. And I remember I had a classmate, I tell Erica this story, it's funny to me now. But I had a classmate, and I won't say their real name, but they was from the West. I don't know how they ended up going to school all the way in deep East Oakland at Morse Cox. That's where I went to school, right by where I grew up. And basically, that person was very popular. Like, I also was very popular, I would say, my whole life. But that's also another thing. Like, what the fuck is that? And why is a childhood memory attached to popularity? Why is that something that children figure out very early on? I'll be talking to my niece and nephew, and I'm like, how is school? And they be like, well, I don't have that many friends, or I have a lot of friends, or, that's the first thing that they'll say. They won't necessarily talk about the work they doing or the type of school they go to. So I'm like, the desirability, this is a much larger conversation that it probably should be called something else, but we'll get into that. And basically, I remember they used to have all the J's, and the reason why they were popular because of Oakland at that time and now, it's a little difficult to describe, but basically they was from the Corns, which is the Acorns, the housing project.
Babe, what is the story?
So because they was from the Corns, everybody's like, "Oh, you from the Corns?" Like, those of us from the town know what that means. When you from the Acorns, like,
that's a good thing, or no?
Well, we all had it was a housing development. It is a housing development still in West Oakland today. But we all have our hoods, and we have very strong relationships to them, and that's a much deeper conversation. But basically, they used to have all the J's, and remember the snakeskin 11s, the pink snakeskin 11s, the Jordans that came out, they had those. I'll just call them, I don't even know what name to call them because I'm going to end up calling them their real name. Rachel. We'll just say their name was Rachel. So me and Rachel, we would always get along very well. That was my partner. And I remember they came up to me in the library because that's where I would spend my time. A lot of times they came up to me and was like, Ebony, let me show you some woo woo. And they pulled out the Nokia, just the little silver one. Yeah. This is just when it was just like this.
The little flat one.
With the antenna.
Yeah,
the little flat one.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, woo woo. And they was like, okay, let me get your number, woo woo. And I'm like... And they was like, where your phone now? I was like, I left it at home. I don't know why the story till this day cracks me up. But the point being is that we learned that phone, clothes, shoes, capitalism, consumerism, like those are the things that make you valuable.
Yes.
In community oftentimes. And we're in 6th grade. Wow. And I'm lying about having a phone. I had no phone in no fucking 6th grade.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot. It's a lot. But I think where I get perfectionism from is that's a ideal that's close to whiteness. I think a lot of white people portray themselves to be perfect. Especially a lot of white cis men. And so I developed over time, if you can perform better than them, be smarter than them, one up them, then you'll be okay. And that I've started to associate that at a young age with my worth and my value. Doing things right, doing things perfectly. Like, I'm trying to stave off forces that I don't have the name for. I'm not, as a child, like, this is racism. I'm not thinking about beauty ideals. I don't have any of that language. I'm a child. But there's this invisible force that I feel that's driving me to want to do everything right. And I'm like, what is right? And when I start to question what is right, what is smart, what's all those things, then that's when I got very much so free from a lot of that.
And that continues to carry on throughout your work and the things that you do. Like, you feel like if it's not perfect, then you will be left up to scrutiny.
Left up to scrutiny, but also that it's not worth putting out.
Because people could.
No, not even.
Is it because you could be found out?
Found out about what?
That this image that you are projecting, or what did you say? That Ebony has heart, that people could figure out the cracks in that, because nobody is that way all the time.
No,
you don't know everything. If this was a podcast on finances, it would be very challenging. You wouldn't want to put that out. If I was like, let's talk about investing, you wouldn't. So is it like nerve-wracking to be like, well, I don't want to be perceived as not knowing? Because what's on the other side of not knowing?
On the other side of not knowing is normalcy.
I know, but this stops you though. Like if you feel like you didn't say it in the way that was said, and that was so pithy, and I didn't say it that way, and let me go study some more. You always feel like I need to go read more. So do you feel like when you have those feelings that if you were to put it out, that people will have a different impression of you than what you are trying to
perhaps. And it's also that I have a different impression of myself because I'm so attached to that version of myself.
Very good.
That knows.
Very good.
So I really could care less, I am being honest, that other people's perceptions of me did used to run my life, especially when I was a teenager. Like, and even now to like a young adult, you know, in my mid-20s and shit, my life would be run and organized by people's perceptions of me, what they thought about me. I want people to like me, good, bad, whatever it is. I want people to, I'm hyper aware of how people perceive me. When it comes to my work and my cultural contributions or my intellectual contributions, I am more of a critic than anybody could ever be. I scrutinize myself and pick myself apart in a way that's never been seen.
Yeah.
Except internally with myself.
Yeah.
And it's much more harsh.
And I feel like that's as also, you know.
Yes, you do this as well.
To out myself as also someone that strives for perfection, but it doesn't look like it, I think. No, actually, it does look like it. Yes. And many people have said to me, you know, it just seems like your life is perfect. My therapist will say, well, what are you presenting that they are left with that impression? Which is like, what you mean? Like, what am I presenting? Like, I feel like I'm honest about the things that I experience, but I also present it as I figured it out. So if it's like, I'm dealing with money stuff, I'm not telling you about that until I have the solution.
Yes.
I'm telling you how I figured it out, right?
Yes.
If me and you are in an argument, I'm presenting it when I figured it out.
When it's been resolved.
Rarely am I talking to a lot of my friends when we are in the midst of something. Like I like to, so I had to really grapple with that as well. You know, like for most of my life, I was not related to as smart. Right. I was like a B, C student. And I also didn't really care about that. I'm thinking about Big Brother because I was watching it yesterday. Because Big Brother talks about you're good at the competitions or your social game. I cared about my social game. I wanted to be friends with everybody. I wanted you to like me.
Yes.
If you liked me, that was like, oh, great. Yes. Fantastic. Whatever I could do to have you like me. And a lot of it came from what I was wearing. Right. Because we're going to get into that, but I'm not conventionally attractive. We could talk about that. I will unpack that.
We will unpack that because I take umbrage with this convention that we all... That.
But for the sake of what I'm saying now, I am not related to, nor am I conventionally attractive. No, nor do I have a problem with that. But when I was younger, I did. So I was like, ooh, just like you were like, I'm quick with my words. I'm going to study. I'm going to cook y'all. Me, I was like, I'm going to get y'all with fashion. I'm going to wear all the weird shit. I'm going to like throw you off guard. Erica Badu has an arm cuff. I'm getting it. Saucony's, every single color, I must have them. Like ran up credit card debt in college because I had to constantly be seen as someone that you would like or would want to be around or someone that had it. You want something from Urban Outfitters? I'll buy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I was striving for constantly. And I think my perfectionism is wrapped up in that. It's like, well, how could you not like me? I don't understand.
Which is true.
I don't understand how you could, but I might not be your cup of tea. And that has something that has come with age, right? Like I have really had to sit with that. Like, I don't understand. My first marriage was inside of, I don't understand why you wouldn't like me.
Yes.
Right? And trying to convince this white woman of why she needed to like me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And with that, it was like, oh, I get to be pretty because now she finally got it.
Yes.
I finally convinced her, right?
Yes.
Like, I finally convinced these people that they can be my friends.
They're the arbiters of the convention. They get to say
that, but anybody else is the arbiter. Kind of similar to as somebody who sings, right? I wouldn't say I'm a singer, but somebody that sings.
No,
I'm not. But if a black person, especially a black elder, says, "Oh, you sound good," you can say
they are in fact the arbiters of who sang and who sang. It's true.
It's a rap.
It's true. They are the
but
arbiters.
A white person being like, "Oh, you sound good." No.
Well, there's some truth to that.
But that's how I was, I relate to those things. I hope that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I want to say two very quick things, though. I think that one, when somebody, this is the really interesting part about being black, is that people will say that your life seems perfect based on very superficial things, but I think it serves a dual purpose. If people think that your life is perfect, that's a sneaky way to disregard and discard you.
That part.
Because it's almost like, well, shit, you got everything. You got all these followers. You live in a house. You be with this person. You be doing this and that. And I see you traveling, whatever it is you doing, hanging out with your family. You got a child. You got a partner. You perfect. So any struggle inside of your identities as a black, non-binary femme, disabled person, I can write those off and I can put myself in a position of, I don't ever have to be there for you. You never need no support. You don't never need no resources. You don't never need no help. The things that you do try to do and you create, well, I'll just say, I don't have to actually support that or ask you about it or anything. I just can assume that it'll be perfect. And it's just a sneaky way for people to take themselves out of being in community by saying, well, this person got this and this person got that. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes it's the person, and oftentimes it is people who have lots of access and lots of popularity or, all these different things that take themselves away from being from community because they have believed a lie that money and access and clothes and all this shit does make you perfect. But for those of us who know that that is a ruse and it's a lie that was created by white people in antiquity, even before they called themselves white, even the lie of being smart, all of that. For those of us who know that, you get left feeling like, I feel like I want to die half the time. So how the fuck are you telling me? How the fuck you gonna tell me my life is perfect when I'm in my life and it don't feel good?
I think the other part of that too is I don't need to support you because your life is perfect, but also I can take advantage of you because your life is perfect. And I think that is something that I have. Oh, your life is perfect. Let me just be clear. I've had to really grapple with that in terms of my friendship breakups recently because people have been like, I don't understand what the problem is. You're here for the taking. Like, you have everything. Like, why can't I just take? You know what I mean? And never pour into you. Like, you have everything. What would you need me to do? You know what I mean? So I think it plays into that in a lot of ways. And I don't talk about this a lot, but when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I did not go to therapy. When I started chemotherapy, I did not go to therapy. When I was about to go through a divorce or was starting to go through the process of divorce and we were breaking up, no therapy. I did not go to therapy until like 6 months or so after I finished, maybe not that long, maybe 3 months after I finished chemo. So it's like, even me, I'm falling for the lie of your life is perfect. And also don't talk about it until it's figured out. Don't go to therapy and get support until, well, now you're done with chemo. Let's go talk about this now. Like, not in the midst, and not many people, including the oncologist, including my breast cancer surgeon, including my ex-wife, was saying, hey, you should probably go to therapy. My friends maybe told me, but I feel like I wasn't really listening to them as much as I should have. Shout out to my friends. Like, I really should have listened to them more and the support that I needed. But also in 2000, when was I diagnosed? 2014, when I was diagnosed, like, a lot of people were not necessarily talking about therapy as much as they are now.
No, it wasn't popular.
But either way, being newly diagnosed with a chronic illness, it may be recommended, and maybe people did, but inside of how I was relating to myself, it's like, I got this. I got it. And then when I'm done, then I will go to therapy. And my therapist looked at me and was just like, how are you here now? Like, that was something we worked on for months before we even got into it. It was like, you're coming to therapy now after all of these things have happened.
And it just occurred to us recently inside of this conversation about perfectionism that we just had a conversation of, you could have maybe applied for disability.
Yeah.
I was like, well, when you was going through chemo, you worked the entire time. But I'm like, you could have possibly... Now, we all know that the United States healthcare system is fucked up.
Yes.
So a lot of times when people do have illnesses or any type of cancer, they're going to make you go through the ringer in order to get those type of social supports that you need.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people talk about with cancer, the financial burden that having cancer puts on people.
Most chronic illnesses and disabilities in this country, because health insurance is not free. Not even when you are on Medicaid. I'm on Medicaid. I'm getting bills.
Yes.
You know, $100 here and there. A bill, $230. Like, you
but
still
also
get bills.
transportation, get to the appointments. Sometimes if you don't have accessorize, like all of these different things.
Being able to take a day off. And if you work hourly, having to deal with that money not being there. You know what I mean?
Wasn't no Uber when you were diagnosed.
Wasn't no Uber.
No.
Wasn't no Uber. Uber was very, very new and people were like nervous to use it. But I wasn't using no Uber. I was on the train. I was on the train with drains.
So my question to you is, because Erica is very much so like a person who works a lot and is a very hard worker. And I think in a similar way that I've used and needed to use intellect as a defense mechanism, I think your worth ethic has played a great role, having lots of jobs and working hella hard. What are you trying to tell yourself by being like, I'm just going to work all the time? Why didn't you say, you know, I really can't work. I'm on chemotherapy. I'm tired.
I didn't see it as any other option. I didn't see that I had any other. I didn't see it as, oh, I could be home and rest. You know, shout out to Trisha Hersey for her work with the Nat Ministry, because that's not even a thought for me. Even now, post chemo, like I was watching somebody talk about how the body needs rest. You need to, like, 20-minute nap here and foreign to me. If I'm up, it's go. Like, go do something, read something, watch a documentary, go garden, go. It's always busybody, right? And I just think, I watched my mom work through chemotherapy. I watched my dad work 2 jobs. At one point, it was 3 jobs between a 2-parent household. Like, it was work. And my dad was very much inside of get a good education, get a good job, and you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like that is he a boomer?
Your dad is a boomer.
Yeah, so that very, very much boomer advice to do those things. And my dad also raised Pentecostal. Cleanliness is next to godliness. You're lazy. Like, what is it? Lazy in the Bible? Sloth.
Sloth, yeah.
Sloth, that's a thing that's taught to, because, you know, when we talk about laziness, it's connected to Blackness, but also connected to poverty, right? So even as a kid on a Sunday, if it was sunny outside at 12 p.m., we could not play video games.
Yeah.
So these kids gaming or whatever y'all are doing on the Stitch and the Twitch and all that kind of stuff.
Sitting in a chair all day.
And y'all got the special chairs to protect y'all back. Never in a million years will we be able to do that as kids. We had Sega Genesis. We had Nintendo. We had all of that crap.
We did.
We had PlayStation. We could not play it during the day. We had to be outside. And if it was raining, okay, you could be inside. You got to watch a movie.
But then my aunt didn't want that on her TV. She said, y'all messing up my TV. She had a theory that her TV was getting messed up because y'all keep playing a game on my TV.
TV, but we could not play. We couldn't play. We needed to be outside. So I have that. When it's sunny outside, I'm like, oh, outside we go. So that busybody piece and that, you know, productivity is connected to morality
and perfection,
right? Like, you're a good person if you're sitting in a coffee shop writing emails,
and you're a good person if you're perfect.
Yes. I need to appear, right? So the attention economy. I need to tell you, oh my God, I'm so busy. I'm rushing here. I have so many gigs.
Busy,
I'm
all
booked
this
and
and
busy.
that.
Okay. What did Tabitha Brown say that she's getting scrutinized for right now? She said, "Well, you need to get a job." She said, y'all need to get a job. Entrepreneurship is not for you. That's what she said. And she said, you can have your dream job. You can work for your dream job while you have that 9 to 5. That was me. And I ran myself into the ground. Whatever dream job was, I needed to not work at all. I needed to not have a job. I needed to sit my ass down. Right? Because while I was striving for, you know, working in sex ed, I was tired. Like I was exhausted. I couldn't eat anything. Right? I had to eat rice in like little, literally just white rice. And sometimes that would even make me nauseous.
Yeah.
So we need to divorce ourselves from this constant movement and feeling like, oh, I'm lazy or I'm wrong or I'm going to not have any money. You know what I mean? I'm going to be poor. Right? Because what is the politics of poverty? Like, what is it, the fear that you have around being poor? Why is there so much resistance to that?
How are you going to be perceived if you are?
Exactly.
If I'm broke.
Exactly.
I'm a brokey and all this.
Exactly. You didn't work hard enough. You're broke. You didn't work hard. You're lazy.
Yes.
It's just simple. These very simple deductions that make no sense, right? That is typically not how people become poor, right? Like,
there's no way to divorce ourselves from this if we don't end white supremacy.
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least interrogate it. And I don't think that there's enough interrogation of it, you know?
But not only that, I think most of what we are taught and told about ourselves, especially as Black people, but just across the board, across demographics, are lies. So when you live under, everybody talks about, you know, United States is the imperial core and it's an imperial site, like many different empires, Spain, the UK, etc., Portugal, all of that. People don't talk about the experience of living under that type of regime. They think that we're living in a fascist regime now. Not that decades of developing a fascist regime have impressed upon people certain ideals and beliefs about themselves and about others. This whole conversation of work hard or be an entrepreneur and it might not be for you. Where do you get that you even need a Target? You need a multinational corporation. How is Target able to be a multinational corporation? Why did Target so quickly concede to the demands of the Trump administration to get rid of DEI? Because it may harm Black retailers who just barely had their shit recently threw up on the wall to the side in Target that is filled with white brands, right? So why is it this idea of celebrity and this, I guess to quote Lady Gaga, I guess the fame monster, even though she is a fame monster herself.
Are you a Lady Gaga fan?
No, I don't like Lady Gaga.
How does that song go?
I don't know, but I was struck by that. No, I was struck by that term, that concept.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, and she is, it's self-fulfilled prophecy for Lady Gaga.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Lady Gaga's also a Zionist.
She's a Zionist, but that's why I'm going to be a Zionist because, again, those are the people that align with the ideal, the white beauty ideal that I'm failing in many ways when it comes to convention.
You don't think people think Lady Gaga's attractive?
People might just off the strength, but that's the thing with white people, off the strength of you be white. You seen as attractive half of the time. That's why I say everything is a lie.
That's it.
You sitting up here about to kill yourself, about to exacerbate your cancer because you, the descendant of people who literally had to work, who were brought here, forcibly kidnapped to work. Now all of the descendants of those people are killing themselves because they feel like they don't work hard enough.
Okay.
Because the people who were kidnapped to work have to now fight off being called lazy.
Okay.
Black people being seen as lazy, that stereotype developed during slavery.
Yes.
Even as white people were not knowing how to cook, not knowing how to clean.
It developed a little bit before that because
Actually,
it developed in line with fat phobia.
Yes.
Right? Because what I was reading in Sabrina String's book, which all of y'all need, we've referenced this many times, Fearing the Black Body.
Yes.
Y'all need this, is that she was talking about how Anglo-Saxon was created before race.
Yes.
So they started to create what white was and make it differentiated and make it inside of biology, right?
And when we say make, we literally mean like create out of thin air. It's not real.
It's
not biological.
Real, right?
There is no such thing as Anglo-Saxon.
No such thing at all. But they were distinguishing themselves from the Irish, right? They were saying the Irish are fat and even the British are fat, right? And they're lazy. And the Irish are absolutely lazy, and that's why they're fat. That's why they're round, is what they were saying. And what they were saying is, as American, they wouldn't say American, they say Anglo-Saxon, but they were trying to create Americanness because they were doing this in the U.S.
Yes.
Anglo-Saxons, we are productive, right?
Yes.
This is why we have a slender body. In North America, it's cold here, and we work hard, and that's where you get that.
Literally.
So at the coffee shop that I just sat at before we came in here, I walked in and I sat down. Okay, I think that's important, right? So I walk into this coffee shop. We went there the last time we recorded. I felt like they remembered us, but maybe not. So I was by myself. I walked in and sat down. There was 2 people at the register. I've already been at another coffee shop, so I don't feel like ordering nothing.
Yeah.
And I only have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to sit here. And I felt guilty for not getting a croissant or something. But I said, you know what? You got chairs here. I'm just going to sit here for 10 minutes. That's it. This person that works there literally walked by me 10 minutes in. I don't even think it was 10 minutes in. I think it was like 7 minutes of me sitting there and said, do you need help? I said, I don't need help. Do you want me to order something? And he said, yeah, like come get something. I was sitting there for 7 minutes.
I do need help. I do. I'm going through things in my life. What if you just engaged them in that conversation?
I just wanted to sit.
I'm tired.
But it's like I got what was inside of his question was, you fat bitch, are you gonna order something? That's what was there.
You felt that. Now that may not have been there. It could have just been simply Soho.
If it was a white man, he likely would have been able to come and sit.
That's the thing about Soho, though. They're about money and that's it. So they don't care.
How do you know that I wasn't gonna order something 30 minutes later?
There you go. Well, then that's where it begins.
Or that I wasn't gonna order something an hour later. Why are you asking me if I need help? That's such a strange thing.
But how do you? But you're asking me. This
wasn't a white person.
This is the lie. This is the lie. You asking me if I need help, but you're not really trying to help me. You're asking me if I need help, but you're really saying, "Can you buy?"
Yes.
That's the world we live in. Yes. That's so deep.
And you know what's wild? What's even wilder about this? Are you ready for this? After that happened, 2 seconds later, someone recognized me. It was like, I love your work. And then the baristas or whatever were listening. I'm like, you don't know who you're talking to. My mama
always say you don't know nobody. You don't know anybody.
You don't know who you're talking to.
You don't know who people are.
And then I stood up and I left. I was going to buy a croissant too.
Oh, you didn't buy nothing?
No.
That's what I'm talking about.
I left. I felt the presence of Ebony.
Thank you.
And I stood up and I left.
Because ain't nobody going to tell me to buy something if I don't feel like it.
But also,
we don't have a space where you can go where you are not expected to purchase something. You know what I'm saying? Where you can go and just be and exist or maybe talk to people.
Yeah.
And hang out.
I can't sit there and read and then get a coffee at 1:00. And
I think that also bothered you because, and I know we're taking a long time to get to the conversation, but this is all in line with the conversation.
I think it's all connected.
I had a quote that, in the beginning of Afro-Pessimism, Frank B. Wilderson, which Erica has read. I've not read Afro-Pessimism.
Oh, that's the book that you should read.
I haven't read it. Also, our Wretched Readers of the Earth.
Yes, coming back.
It's not a book club, but our Wretched Readers of the Earth community.
Yes.
Rigorous iron sharpen iron. Rigorous political study is returning, and I'll have more information about that in the description of the podcast as well. But join us for Wretched Readers of the Earth. We read Black Marxism together, and now we're starting another book, Dr. Joy James, Resisting State Violence, which is timely and apt, wouldn't you say? Now, in the beginning of that, the first page, he quotes Cecilia M. Cooper, which is a Black trans. They're like a chemist and a writer and artist. They do like all type of shit. But they have a quote that says, I am most prized, and I remember it verbatim, I believe. I am most prized as a vector through which people can accomplish themselves. I read that to you because I'm like, that makes me think about you so much. And this whole idea of being perfect. People are not telling you that you seem perfect or that your life is perfect because they think you deserve it. Ooh. They're saying it because you don't.
And they're shocked.
Or whatever they believe is perfect. They're not even asking you, what would make your life perfect? It's not about what would make your life perfect. What are the signifiers of perfection for you or a good life or a happy life if you're even happy? That's not what people are asking. People aren't even asking. People are telling you their perception of your experience so that vicariously they can not even have that, but it's like you're like a vessel. I often feel this way as a Black person, a Black fat trans person. I'm like a receptacle and a vessel for other people. A lot of Black people, we're a receptacle of white people's thoughts about us.
Yes.
We're a receptacle for white people's feelings about us.
Yeah.
They can achieve personhood. They can feel strong and powerful or kind and humane through us, through our example. Oh, I'm going to go to Sudan and I'm going to go on a mission and I'm going to go and work on behalf of people. Or I'm going to be, in the fucking 15th century, a Spanish missionary, and I'm going to go and spread Christendom all across the continent of Africa, or all these different things that are where white people are getting the building blocks for who they are through us. And I feel like we begin to do that to one another. And people call you all the time. Erica's the person people call for help, support all the time. And I used to tell you, we first got together, I'm like, babe, it seemed like you doing a lot of hand holding and a lot of, take care of this person and answering their calls and talking to them and being there for them. But I don't necessarily see that. And I'm telling her very agnostically, I know some of these people as well during the time. And I'm like, it don't seem like they're doing that for you. So it's like, you're supposed to be that. Your labor, Black film's labor has never ended. It's never ended. The unfree labor.
And I thank you. And I see that inside of the new statistics around 318,000 plus Black women have been essentially removed from the workforce, either from being laid off or fired or having to quit or not, or even just looking for jobs. I see that in that statistic because who then benefits is there's an increase in white cis men having jobs, and
having money.
And having money. And I think about that for myself as somebody who does work in civil service, right, as an educator. It has been really, really hard. It has been very, very challenging. And so many companies that we work for have turned their back because of our stance, even in support of Palestine. But I would say even just in our rigorous support of Black people, period, right? It's like, I can't use you for your advocacy if you're going to do that. I need to just use you to get money, right? I need to use you to get more business from my company, not for you.
I can't use you to forward the state's aim.
That part.
To eliminate and exterminate Black people if you constantly affirm and uplift Blackness and what happens to Black people. And because my company can exist.
And not on a Black people are in the room or at the table type shit. Like, Black people are throwing away the table. They're hitting you over the head with the table. Okay? They're walking away from the table. You don't want Black people to do that. You just want Black people to be there, right? And in the space so that you look good. But you don't want us to say anything. And that's how a lot of people in my life have treated me. I just want to be your friend because you're my Black queer friend that has a lot of followers, that is, a breast cancer survivor and is so powerful and just had a baby and the baby was in the NICU and they talked about that and people followed that journey. And I want people to know that I have an association with you, but I don't want to actually know you. And I don't actually care about you. You know what I mean? That's what I've realized with some of these people in my life is that you don't care about me.
No.
Like at all.
Yeah.
Because if you actually cared about me, you would be like, hey, you all right? You need me to come by, or you need anything, or what's happened with you? What's going on? Like some of the people in my life who really, you do this a lot where you're like, what's up? Emotional check-in. I notice things are off. I know I want to check in about. That's somebody that cares about me. You know what I mean? And vice versa. But a lot of these folks, they don't care. And it don't take much to care about somebody. Inside of a conversation of desirability, I go back to how I look, and you don't care about me as much as you care about somebody that don't look like me. You don't care about me as much as you care about a light-skinned, conventionally attractive
or a
person
with a lot of money,
or a white person, or a person with a lot of money, right? You are always attaching yourself to the people you feel like you could take from, and I feel like that's very consistent with a capitalist society we live in, and I don't think people are clocking themselves doing that enough. Tabitha Brown, no shade, you're a wealthy person. If there's anybody in your life, because that message to me felt like a sneak diss to somebody or like a sub message. It felt very like personal, pointed, not actually to everybody.
It's a little not reflective of the times.
No, it's not. So I felt like it was more pointed to somebody. Maybe. But you're rich. Who could you send some money to? Okay. Instead of giving advice to increase your money and to get more following and to get more, even if the critique is more support, essentially more backing, who could you just have sent some money to? Who in your life is an entrepreneur that's also working a 9-to-5, which y'all have to understand. I don't think people get this. To be an entrepreneur and also have a 9-to-5 is incredibly challenging. An entrepreneur is working all the time. We work entirely too much. We work on the weekends. When our child goes to sleep, we are still working on something. Yeah. There's no 9-to-5 for an entrepreneur. So somebody that has a 9-to-5 and is also an entrepreneur, that means they are working
double time.
Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. After they come home from work, they're working.
And they may have children.
In the morning when they wake up. Like, this is ridiculous. You should not have to do all that. That's the part that I feel like people are not talking about enough. The fact that people shouldn't have to do the amount of labor that they're doing. That's the message. Not, oh, you need to do more labor.
There's a lot of people who aren't being asked to do that. There are a lot of people who are not being told, given advice to, or the audience for, you need to work harder, you need to do more. There's a lot of people who we just assume, based on how they look, that they already do it.
Elon Musk was about to become the first trillionaire. Okay? I don't think he has multiple jobs. He just takes advantage of whole...
Well, I don't think people view... So that's the thing. This is the thing that keep me up at night, where I'm like, it's no wonder that we could have people, or many of us, even people listening, you can have people in your life who really don't care about you, who look like you, when it's like you mentioning what Sabrina Strings cited about the creation of Anglo-Saxon. The creation of Anglo-Saxon, something that was created a century or so ago, is the reason why Tabitha Brown is saying what she's saying.
Yes.
To a particular demographic of people who look just like her.
Yes.
I have done the thing that I lifted myself up by the bootstrap. Why the hell can't y'all? I was working and then I became this great rags to riches success story. I was an entrepreneur and I had a job.
Yep.
Why can't you do it too?
Yep.
Why can't we just get it right? Why can't we just be more like them? You hear Black people say this all the time. We need to be more like the Asian community.
Yeah.
And we need to be more like this community, because they come together and they have a block of businesses, not knowing that Black people have had blocks of businesses, but people won't.
They bomb them. They
bomb them, but also people won't patronize.
Yeah.
And when we do try to build them, even some of our own say, oh, it's so difficult to support Black people's businesses.
It's so slow. I don't get my stuff on time. That's why I don't support.
But not knowing that it's quite unnatural for you to have a package from China in the same day. What did somebody have to do?
That part.
How much labor did a motherfucker have to do for the equivalent of $2 compared to how much Jeff Bezos is worth? What did that person have to do?
And what were they willing to do?
What were they willing to do so that, one, I'm not seen as broke, lazy, undesirable? I want somebody to want me. I want to have a relationship. Can't have no relationship. I ain't got no money. Ain't nobody gonna find me attractive if I ain't got no money. As I'm living in something that doesn't, what we are being told is natural, and how we live is completely unnatural.
Yeah. What you just said, can you say it one more time?
The way that we live, that is being sold to us as the natural way of living, is so unnatural.
Because what Tabitha Brown is doing, and also just in general, a conversation around desirability, is also a conversation inside of the politics of ugly. Of what ugly is, right? And people trying their hardest to move away from whatever this ugly is. And Young Thug from jail. Young Thug is still in prison?
No, he out.
He's out. Okay, Young Thug took time out of his... I think he was in prison.
He has so much probation that it's like you might as well... 20 years
I think he said
probation,
this from prison, but maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's called Glorilla lots of different things. Call her everything but a child of God, but says she's ugly.
When?
Recently.
Why?
It was leaked.
Oh, wait, maybe when he was in jail. He
yeah.
Why? What was the point of him saying that?
He just was talking about her. But I think that's interesting that you are someone that's incarcerated, right? You don't have any access to the quote unquote outside world.
Very little, rather.
Right. Very little. Glorilla is doing her thing, not saying anything about you.
Nope.
But you are saying that she's ugly.
Right.
It's just not, It's not making no sense.
There's something there.
It's something there.
There's something there.
It's not making no sense. And it makes me sad because Glorilla has, recently had a nose job. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about her face. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So people have already made these assertions about Glorilla, right? That she's ingested, right? Mm-hmm. Not to say that she thought she was ugly before her nose job, but I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say that she probably had some thoughts about her face, right?
Or her nose.
In particular, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that that's just so fascinating to me, right? That the way that ugly is lodged at people, right? In particular at Black people. There's another person. Her name is Naomi Piula. Piula. And she posted a selfie, and this is a dark-skinned Black person, phenotypically Black, large nose, big lips, like phenotypically Black. And people berated her and said that she needed to take down the selfie. Then she had an interview. It went viral. She posted a selfie, and people were in the comments being disgusting. And the selfie went viral. She had an interview with People magazine, and she said, "I am not aesthetically beautiful, and that is okay." And I really sat with that quote for a minute. You know what I mean? Because why I said earlier, it's like people did not relate to me as conventionally attractive. I was called ugly most of my life. And a lot of people would be like, "What? Oh my God, like you're called ugly? Oh my God, the worst thing ever." But there is so much power in disobeying, right? Conventional beauty standards, right? There's so much power in you not seeing me inside of that creation, inside of that convention. Like, oh, thank God. You think that I'm ugly. Because to have to constantly strive and be caught up in the maze of let me have some proximity to conventional beauty standards for what? We're all going to die. Message from the breast cancer survivor, because everybody thinks I have a death date on my forehead. We are all going to die. So if I'm constantly striving for beauty, conventional beauty standard, where the goalpost is constantly moving, what I'm not going to be on my deathbed. I don't think so. I doubt most people are on their deathbed talking about, wow, I really wish I would have gotten that tummy tuck. Like, I just don't think that that's the case. Like, how did you live?
Or I really love my job.
That. And she said, I'm not aesthetically beautiful, and that's okay. I love myself. And how powerful that is. And then today I saw that she was asked to walk Paris Fashion Week, which I think is interesting, right? I think it's interesting because the comments where people were excited were like, you turned this horrible experience into something good. But is Paris Fashion Week now the thing that makes her beautiful? The thing that gives her proximity to conventional
Paris
beauty
Fashion Week
standards?
certainly feels that way.
They are the arbiters of beauty.
They the beholder. They are the beholder.
I'm not asserting that she needed to turn it down or that she needed not to be there. I think it's a disruption to be there. I think do your thing. And I think that that's really interesting, right? That now people are excited about that. And I will segue into this conversation really quickly. Love Island. Give it to me, please. We were everywhere in Atlanta. Shout out to everybody in Atlanta for loving us.
I love Atlanta. Shit, I love y'all niggas.
A lot of people said to us in Atlanta is that they loved the Love Island commentary. So let me inject that really quickly.
Does it relate to this point?
It does.
Okay.
Nick and Alandria. Okay. Alandria tried to be with Taylor the whole show. Okay. Most of the show, she tried to be with Taylor.
For those who don't know, that's a Black cis man. And Nick.
Not a single solitary person on this God's green earth does not know who Nick and Alandria is.
There's people who don't know.
Not a single. If you don't know.
Especially motherfuckers who listen to, we don't actually have a lot of, our people who listen to Hood Right There are not the same audience that Love Island is trying to reach.
In the comments, please write if you know who Nick and Alandria is. Actually, don't do that. I want you to tell me if you don't know who that is, because I want to talk to you. But either way, Alandria was trying to be with a Black cis man most of the show. His name is Taylor. Taylor did not want to be with her. There is assertions that production was trying to have them be together, even though Taylor didn't want that. How true that is, we don't know. Then Taylor makes it clear that he's not interested. He finds somebody else named Clark. They go off into the sunset together, get voted off. Thank you, God. Then Nick and a white cis man, Alandria, dark-skinned Black woman, start to kiki with each other. Now, from the beginning, Nick was saying that he wanted to be with Alandria.
He wasn't.
He wasn't saying he wanted to be with Alandria. He said that she was attractive. Most beautiful girl in the world is what he said. Every single competition or whatever they are, but I can't remember what they're called. But the competitions that they have, silly competition on Love Island, he would always ask or try to, invite her to have some sort of kissing session, okay? They eventually get together and they are still together. So even from one of the contestants named Ace, who was voted off early, went on an interview with Speedy. I don't know who that is. Did an interview with him and said that he asserted that he doesn't believe that their relationship is real. Okay? There's lots of talk that their relationship is not real. Alandria just recently did an interview, I think with Elite Daily, and said that she believes that her relationship with Nick is healing the world. Okay?
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did. I also think, or has the potential of healing. I think she said healing the world. I don't think she said potential. I think she said healing the world. A lot of people, in my opinion, and I think we have to be honest about this, I am not included in this because when I watch Love Island, I am rooting for everybody black and only the black people.
Yes.
I was even rooting for Taylor until he pissed me all the way off. I even rooted for Ace all the way up until he pissed me off. So I am standing for everybody black always and black people being with black people on these shows where there's not many prospects for black. So the whole time I was standing for Alandria and wanted Alandria to get the hell away from Taylor and for her to have a new prospect.
Yes.
I did not get excited about Alandria when she got with Nick, but I do think a lot of people got excited for Alandria when she got with Nick and actually saw Alandria's beauty when she got with Nick.
I've been trying to tell you this.
I know. I feel like it's similar to the Naomi situation because Naomi is being vilified in these comments. She's posting her selfie, right? All she did was post a selfie. And all of these strangers, like these keyboard warrior losers, come in the comments and writing all the shit about her. And now she's about to walk Paris Fashion Week. And now we all can see Naomi's beauty, or we need to see Naomi's beauty or proximity to conventional beauty standards.
And
I feel like the same with Alandria. The same. A white person is desiring Alandria out loud, and people are excited about that. Am I excited about that? No, it's all about Alandria for me. I just wanted Alandria to win. I don't really care about Nick. Is Nick hot? Yeah, sort of, but he's also a child. He is fine. But I have a thing about
your desirability politics.
It's in the trash.
Unpacked.
I like old white cis men.
How you like me? Because I'm none of those things. Neither old nor white.
Man,
no,
look at your shoes.
Babe. No. We gonna get into a lot of this. Y'all can y'all can see him.
I like what's his name? Walton Goggins.
Babe,
he looks like Nick looks like Walton Goggins. So that's where you get me.
Stop saying that person's name on this platform.
Walton Goggins. Do you want to be a guest?
No. Because the moment Walton Goggins opened his mouth, y'all start talking about anything political. Let's going down.
I am going to be immediately.
And the same thing with Nick.
The thing. I don't like white cis men for the things they say. White old cis men, let me be clear. For the things they say, I don't want them to talk.
You would lay down with that.
Lay down is questionable.
Not without no cash, but even for cash, I can't do it. But I respect
no, it's a joke to me. I'm not really attracted to them. It's just funny to me. But Hannibal Lecter, I might be. That is
he needs to take care. The nigga who is Hannibal Lecter? Not Gene.
What's his name?
Anthony Hopkins.
Yes, Anthony Hopkins is a baddie.
He is a deadbeat dad, and he did not pay his. He's a straight up ask his kids.
Anthony Hopkins is hot to me because of how he acts. His acting is like
ask his children. We need to run a list of all the white cis men deadbeat fathers that don't pay their motherfucking child support. Trust me.
I just think that those situations are similar in how people are relating to it. I think people have to be honest that if Alandria was still with Taylor, let's say that Taylor was great, I don't know that they would have still been as excited about Alandria, or Alandria and Taylor would have gotten as many press opportunities and gigs and influencer opportunities if it wasn't for the presence of Nick.
She believes that her relationship is healing the world, but what about her relationship with her mom? Why don't friendships heal the world? What about relationships between siblings? Why aren't those relationships we seen that heal the world? You know
There's
what I'm saying?
a lot of currency in romantic relationships.
But
we said that in the last.
That ain't why she's saying it's healing. Because if her and that nigga Taylor would have been together, would she have said that? No.
That part.
Those are the relationships that actually heal the world are relationships between Black people. Those are relationships that heal the world because the world says that, one, y'all are not valuable or desirable, and two, you shouldn't find each other valuable and desirable.
And that's the hard part. Because
standards.
When you're in relationship with Black people, either friendship or romantic, you're hitting up against that often. With other with their own internalized anti-Blackness. Whereas, like, I don't really value you. They're not saying that out loud. But
no,
they
just
make it clear
you that way.
Exactly.
And they don't even, and half the time, we don't even know why.
Yes.
That's why I said when I was a child, these invisible forces.
Yeah.
I don't know what's telling me why I need to ask my mom, who is working very hard already and can't afford to go buy me no damn Jordan 11s. Yeah. Why I'm trying to get my mom to go put this on layaway.
Yeah. And I will say too that when we say that Black people in relationship with Black people, there's internalized anti-Blackness, that's not to say that being with a white person, that's gone. No. What happens when you're in relationship with white people is it's enough to be in relationship with them. You don't think that you have to actually hold their feet to the fire for anything because there's so much currency in being with a white person, even in friendship, that there's not a lot of friction unless you create the friction. A lot of people, and that's not everybody, so I know people are going to say, in my relationship with a white person, I hold them to account all the time. Cool.
They have been saying
but a lot of times people don't. Right? They don't hold their white friends to account. They don't hold their white partner to account because it's enough to be with a white person. And it's enough for that white person to be with them, that they don't question anything.
And not only that, it's like, one, what you're bringing me to is that white people are also, even in relationships where it's 2 white people or 3 or 4 white people, they're also being anti-Black.
Yes.
The anti-Blackness is also inside of other interracial relationship dynamics with an Asian person and a white person. 2 Asian people, a Mexican person and an Asian, an Arab person and a Southeast Asian person. Whatever the case may be. And the reason why I say this because somebody, in response to the last episode, said, oh, wow, like, can we stop talking about Black and white relationships? Like, we don't have to settle for that. There are other types of interracial relationships. And I just thought that was so interesting that
people
was
say
the
that
takeaway.
A lot.
And well, one, we're not exclusively talking about the nature of these relationships as interpersonally or like how they do their business. Or me and my white partner, we talk shit about white people together. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a system that routinely exalts any relationship or any presence of a white person in any place. Whether that white person is in public office, they getting exalted. Whether that white person is a courtroom, they getting exalted. Whether they laying in your motherfucking bed, they getting exalted. They're getting exalted everywhere. They're on the train, at the coffee shop. They're being privileged. So those dynamics exist even without their presence being there. This idea, again, going back to Anglo-Saxon, that there is a master race. That's what they meant when they created Anglo-Saxonism. And then the writer Ralph Waldo Emerson was the one who actually took that further and popularized it. He essentially was an influencer. And he took that and took his influence, and now that's why you have white people saying you will not replace us. We're Anglo-Saxons. Knowing good and damn well ain't no such thing as that. And if it was, they would not be descendants of that. Okay. They're just in search of their ancestry as other people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They really don't be knowing. You're talking about I'm Irish or my family is Scottish. No, your family is from motherfucking Idaho, Iowa. And even if we think about that, again, these unnatural ways of thinking, all of that was indigenous land. So how the fuck did they get over there? Okay, the conquest and enslavement of people and imperialism had did a number on non-white people and especially Black folks and separating our families and separating us from our lineage. And it also has had the dual effect of separating white people from theirs. Because you're leaving where you're actually from to go and quote unquote pioneer and settle places that already are inhabited by indigenous people and other people.
Say that.
So it's y'all are separated too.
Yes.
But I have to create Anglo-Saxon so y'all don't. So we're not separated.
Yeah.
So we can become this powerful political bloc.
Yeah.
That is our way of becoming the arbiters. The Anglo-Saxons ain't that.
Yep.
We're not round like the Irish.
Yep.
We work hard. I wanted to real quick with the Love Island thing.
Oh yeah.
Not even about that. This idea and about what happened to the sister Naomi.
Yeah.
One, the thing about ugliness or that people calling each other ugly that I've always wondered is that when a motherfucker, first of all of this is very subjective.
Mm-hmm.
But when a motherfucker is calling somebody else ugly, it's objective.
Mm-hmm.
It's like empirical fact. Like that person is ugly.
Yeah.
Like because I said it and because there's agreement that their identity's positionality is ugly, fat, whatever. But when somebody calls them, using that same logic, ugly, it's all up to interpretation. You call that person ugly, you ugly too. It's it's empirical fact that I am in fact not ugly. And that's So it's one of those very contradictory things where it's like, again, why, even if I say Walter Goggins is not cute or Nick is not attractive, I am not attracted to them. I am not. That doesn't mean that somebody doesn't find them attractive, but it doesn't work the same way with white people. Because again, when we say conventionally attractive, we need to stop probably using that language because it's a bit of a euphemism. We are saying, according to a Eurocentric white beauty ideal.
Yes.
That's what we mean. When you say you're not conventionally attractive, you're saying that you don't meet Eurocentric beauty standards.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
You're not what Anglo-Saxons thought about.
No.
Okay?
Yes.
So then that makes beauty, ugliness, all of this sort of constructs that, again, depending on who's telling the history, who's writing it, who has the privilege of being able to write and say, these people are beautiful, these people are ugly. Like, it all is dependent and based upon that person.
Yes.
So
where's the healing, I guess, Alandria?
But not only that, where's the healing, but would it help her to know, like, beauty, these, like, what the fuck is that even?
Yeah.
Even as we question, well, who's ugly? We never say, well, who the fuck is beautiful? And to your point and to the sister's point, Naomi, I don't really care to be, and it doesn't matter to me.
But I don't, but there is a beautiful. There is agreement on who is attractive.
But
and
based on that stand on the Eurocentric beauty
100%. And they don't have to. But the gag is white people don't have to live up to it either.
No, they don't.
And Love Island is a perfect example of that. Because a lot of those white girls, it's no shade. Don't look like nothing. Don't look like no Landria. Don't hold a candle to a Landria or Shelley. Not a candle.
But
they have all of these prospects.
But do people think Alandria and Shelley are attractive because of their proximity to the ideal?
This is something that is also
they are dark-skinned black femmes.
They are calling Alandria Barbie. She calls herself Bama Barbie, but they're saying that her features are literally similar to Barbie. And I think
it's a
that
you
rhetoric rubs me
the
wrong. Yeah,
it rubs to a motherfucking white doll that was created.
Yeah.
In order to inform little AFAB children's conceptions of beauty, to get them to be like, to groom them into being wives.
Yeah.
And partners of cis men.
Yep.
It's a heterosexist straight agenda that Barbie and Ken is a part of.
Yeah.
And you comparing the sister to that. And I do think our encounters with that when we're very young have informed our conceptions of attraction. Vanessa Rochelle Lewis, the author of Reclaiming Ugly, and in her work she talks about ugly is something that is done to you.
Yes.
It's something that's put on you. You're uglified. It's uglification.
Yes.
There is a process.
Yes.
It's not that nobody is ugly.
Yes.
It's not that nobody is beautiful. These are processes that are created through systems of oppression.
Yes.
That we have now internalized, even this idea of beauty. Why did white people, when this early proto-racist pseudoscientists, when they're creating race and they calling people based on land, that's in Nell Irvin Painter's History of White People. Y'all should read that book. She's talking about that back before motherfuckers thought of themselves as white, when they thought about race, they thought of themselves in terms of land. She's basically saying like the Greeks and the Scythians in the 2nd, 3rd century, all that type of shit. She's saying that when they came up with Caucasian, they're basing it off of the Caucasus Mountains, which are a mountain range in Turkey. People who white people would then begin to have animus toward because they don't they're not exactly white to them.
Yes.
Why are then now, thousands of years later, we are still calling people Caucasian, white people Caucasian when it doesn't exist? It is a pseudoscientific
Yes, babe.
term.
Don't go into this racial
but no, I'm not doing that. But no, it's important that the beauty. I think beauty came even before white, or they coincided together.
They coincide together
because they're naming themselves after what they thought looked at. It's all eyeball shit based on how something looks. What they thought was the most beautiful mountain range. So they said, us whites, when we become white, we're going to be called Caucasians. Conventionally attractive. That is inside of that. The lie. It's not natural.
Yes, that's clear. Okay. That's very, very clear. And makes me want to transition to fatness inside of this conversation around the Caucasus Mountains and the creation of white, right? Because inside of the creation of white, we also have the creation of thinness, right? And who is thin? Because who they were saying, and I'll read to you here, who the Ralph Waldo Emersons and some of these beginning lady magazines is what they were called. They were all creating this rhetoric around who is white, Anglo-Saxon, and who is thin, right? All put together. And I'll read.
Making thinness a thing.
Yes. And this is the beginning of Harper's Bazaar. Okay. Everybody's familiar with that magazine?
Paris Fashion Week.
Yes. Paris Fashion Week. There we go. And Mary Louise Booth, who is a descendant of French immigrants, was in New York, was a writer for like the New York Times and all this stuff, then became very big at Harper's Bazaar because Harper's Bazaar was created by two white people from France, French descendants. And in this part, Strings is talking about how a part of the magazine had a piece for who they called the ugly girls, and it was an opportunity for Anglo-Saxons to reform. Okay. It's like, how could y'all are the ugly girls, and this is what you need to do so you can fix yourselves, right? Yes. You need to fix yourselves. And it says, under Booth, Mary Louise Booth is who they're talking about, Harper's Bazaar often addressed questions of how and how much a proper American lady should eat. A regular series titled For the Ugly Girls offered advice for those falling short of feminine demands in terms of appetite and apparel. In one article in this series written in 1872, the author addresses Yankee women who include too many scrumptious pies with crusts half lard and half butter in their diet. Her advice for these women to pick up a cookery book by a Professor Blott, who offered indispensable instruction on how to maintain one's weight and by association, one's attractive figure. While the author of this piece suggested that many American women ate too much fatty food, it is important to remember that the article was intended for the unsightly, those to whom Harper's wanted to give the chance. Should I stop? Wanted to give the chance and the tools to reform. This approach was not intended to undercut the position dating back to the 1830s that the average American woman was svelte. I can never say that word. And that this svelte, and that this was a preferable form of embodiment. Such was made clear in an 1877 article, Are Women Growing Plump? The author writes, Europeans generally concede that our American women are handsome, adding that continental observers particularly remark that the tendency of our women to grow thin with years, while we remark the tendency of theirs to the accumulation of flesh as soon as they have passed their youth and often before that period. And then this part here, I just want to read this. This is Harper's Bazaar, by the way. Okay? I just want to make that clear. That these magazines have benefited, all of this rhetoric around fatness is very, very old and very much connected to make America great. Not again. Okay? Because we're that's in the future. Yes. It was make America great. How we can make America great is for you motherfuckers to be thin. Yes. And I'm going to teach you how to be thin by not eating fatty foods, by eating food in moderation, something my father said to me for most of my life. He still says that to this day. I eat things in moderation. It's all rooted in religion, in particular Christianity, but very much rooted in the creation of whiteness and the creation of Americanness. Yes. So when we talk about race, it's very important that we also talk about fatness,
and
right?
what they mean by Americanness, their saying is white.
I just have one more part. So this is the creation of another lady magazine, Godey's Lady Magazine, Godey apostrophe S, Ladies Book is what it was called. This book is like the beginning of women's magazines. Okay. This is like the arbiter, if you will.
What
or the
year
beginning.
was that?
This is in 1836. And she
like
said,
the code of domesticity, code of womanhood.
Creating femininity, creating whiteness.
Okay.
This is all written in these books of how white women can become a part of this middle class.
So this is Jillian Michaels. This is her ancestry. This is where she got you might not be Anglo-Saxon, but you do descend from this. This is your history and legacy. Got it. Okay.
And also,
Weight Watchers and all that shit I'm seeing in
this was Sarah Haley. Sarah Haley was like the editor of Godey's Ladies Book, okay? Big racist, and also ironically was connected to Thanksgiving, right? But around Thanksgiving, she would say, you need to eat less, which is so ironic, right? So she says, some parts of Africa, no lady can be charming under 21 stone or approximately 300 pounds. Okay, so they're just saying the place where fat women can be appreciated, it seems, is under the African sun. Sorry. Wow. The place where fat women can be appreciated, it seems, is under the African sun. Since in some parts of Africa, no lady can be charming under 21 stone, which is approximately 300 pounds. This is in the 1800s. Wow. So inside of a conversation of desirability, inside of a conversation around race, there is going to be body size and i.e. fatness and thinness, the binary of those two things. And I wanted to talk about this, and I said to Ebony, I want to talk about it with grace, right? And hold it in a way that's mindful of the ways that this person has been talked about. And who I'm speaking about is Serena Williams.
Yes.
And, I have seen so many ads.
Yes.
Of Serena Williams literally injecting herself with this Roe brand of GLP-1s, right? And also Charles Barkley. And I think that it's really, but I mostly see Serena Williams in ads.
And for those who don't know, the GLP-1s are a insulin-based diabetes medicine that is now being used
as a weight loss drug. Like pretty rampantly. We see the ads for different brands all over the subways. We see the commercials for it. I think him, that brand, they also have their own.
Yeah, and now pharmaceutical companies are racing to the clock to develop their own GLP-1s.
Yeah, so seeing Serena Williams, who has clearly already lost a lot of weight, advertise this brand of GLP-1s and talk about after her second baby wanting to lose baby fat and how hard that was for her. It made me sad. I'm not even going to lie. It made me sad because I understand that Serena Williams has been in the spotlight for many, many years because she is one of the greatest athletes of all time. Yes, and literally. Also, she has been in the spotlight because of her body, right? And the ways in which her body takes up space. And the fact that it is a marked difference from a lot of the people who play tennis. Yeah. Right. And she would play it up, right? In my opinion, right? She was wearing clothes. I was like, this is my body. I'm not changing it, right? Like, and that's it. Like, this is what it's giving. So to see that was really, really challenging for me. Like, I think it definitely triggered some things in me. Yeah. I wouldn't say I have a similar body to Serena Williams, but I feel like we have like similar.
Y'all got them big old things.
I don't have like,
y'all got them big old
booty. I pray. I pray for a booty like that. Yeah. But I feel like our body shape is similar. That like quote unquote athletic build, whatever the hell that means. Yeah. As younger black folks would say, when I was younger, I was big boned, is what they would say. It was another way to
you was slim thick, because I was called big boned.
And I was actually fat. No, because I have big thighs always. Yeah. So I think that was like the thing. Even when I went to college, Tiffany will tell you. Yeah. Was like, oh, are you an athlete? Like, I've never been necessarily related to as thin. Yeah. And that has a lot to do with my blackness, like relating to black as fat, period.
According to Gowdy's ladies fucking
the 1800s, this rhetoric continuing. So it made me sad. And then to find out that her husband, her white husband, the owner and creator, right, founder of Reddit, was an early
billionaire.
Yes, an early shareholder, an early investor in this GLP-1. It just broke my heart.
Why?
Because I just feel, again, the desire for proximity to whiteness at the end of the day. And to me, even though she said that it's not true, Serena Williams looks lighter to me too. Like, it looks like she has brightened her skin in some way, shape, or form.
Know more about makeup than me.
It's not makeup. It's her whole. She's showing her arms. She looks lighter. Yeah. And I don't know if that is the filter that she's using. Okay, but it's still, you use
even
the filter.
These filters is
right?
getting out of hand.
So I mean, I like a filter every once in a while, but like I try to be mindful that they're not.
No filter that whiten your skin, babe.
No, I try to be mindful that they're not. You know what I mean? There are filters that will not do that. So
clock it, filter.
Clock it.
Filter. The creation of these filters. These are things that y'all are like, this is natural to like make myself look different.
Yeah.
It's softening my feature. It's doing.
Yeah.
Y'all have to understand, these people are really sitting working overtime for y'all mind.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
$1 billion industry.
Yeah.
Serena Williams' husband is a billionaire.
Yes.
Okay?
And it's still not enough. And I think that's what made me sad. It's not enough that you are literally number one, not number one tennis player, number one athlete in the world.
One of the best, the legend.
You felt like you needed to be thin? Like, oh man.
But Serena Williams is perfect. She has it all. She's the number one tennis player in the world. She's rich. She has children. She's perfect. She couldn't possibly be
dealing with
impacted or affected by the anti-black fat phobia and misogynoir that is endemic inside of the sport that she rose to the ranks in.
So I talked about this on TikTok, but I'll bring it here just because I want to hear your thoughts. There was a person that did a video that said, I see all these parents at the playground with all these snacks, and the kids have the granola bars and the Cheez-Its, and kids don't need snacks. They need to eat their meals, not snacks. They don't need all that. And I just was like, I cannot believe that the conversation, this thinness, like apocalypse,
started young.
It starts so young. Can you imagine telling our child no snack? That's his favorite word. Snack, snack, snack,
snack, snack. With no S, snack.
Snack. Can you imagine? But the fact that literally who I think is the most in tune with their bodies is a child. Even a baby is going to scream in your face until you feed them. They know they are listening to their body. They hear their hunger cues. Most of us need to be walking around with snacks. Most of us need a little thing of peanuts or a little thing of Pringles or whatever to manage our blood sugar levels. And you are telling young kids to ignore that they don't need no snack. What are you thinking? I feel like you're about to say.
I don't really. It goes back to.
Well, let me say this too.
Yeah,
let me say this too.
I don't really have too many thoughts about that.
Okay, so then I saw attached to this Nara Smith, you know, the trad wife and her, her partner is they're both Republican. Okay, let's just say that.
Right.
But he is a Trumper and all that kind of stuff. She has a video, she talks about food all the time, food content creator. But she has a video where she's like, late at night, I just sometimes want to have a late night snack. So I just take a piece of romaine lettuce and I put salt and pepper. Crunch. So delicious. That's her snack. A piece of romaine lettuce.
That's her
with
meal.
Salt and pepper.
That's dinner.
A piece of romaine lettuce is a midnight snack.
It's just funny. I don't have no thoughts.
What in the world? This is
what I'm saying, though, Eric. That's what I'm like. What's
going on?
Natural.
What's going on?
Is being naturalized.
It is. You literally went online and said a piece of fucking lettuce is a snack. One piece.
What about a tomato? Put a tomato on top.
Tell you, it's not a bowl, okay? I'll tell you right now. It's not like, here, I had a salad because I was hungry and I wanted to get my greens in for the day. It was one piece of lettuce.
I think that
these things are connected, babe. From Serena to Nara Smith. Nara Smith has a massive following.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, no wonder, either of them are like, given what we have described, given the society that we live in, where again, if you meet that white Eurocentric beauty ideal that, according to that old white lady from the 1800s, that's dead in the ground, thank God. According to her,
two white ladies
dead in the ground, but their ideology, they's the influencers. Because they didn't influence people 200 years later. And everybody's like, I will stick a fucking piece of a needle in my motherfucking body just so that I can be fair and favorable and svelte and all of American and look white. Because that is the thing to be. That is the ideal. That is who is perfect.
And look obedient. That's what this is about too. It's obedience. If you listen to Jillian Michaels and all these other people. I don't know when
she started. She's trying to get money.
But if you, I mean, I watched the documentary about The Biggest Loser, right? Which you don't need to watch that documentary to know that they treated the contestants like absolute.
The fact that we had a game show called Biggest Loser,
literally,
and everybody was watching
like shit. Treated them like shit. The whole thing was about obedience. The whole thing. And even when you hear trainers online, they're like, y'all are not following the plan. Like, y'all are going outside. Y'all don't have a job. And also being entrepreneurs. Y'all need to get a job. Y'all need to get in the gym.
You're not doing it right.
You're not doing it right. You're not being obedient.
You ain't working hard enough. You're lazy.
You're not working hard enough. You're lazy.
Yeah.
That's why you're not losing weight.
And I think a lot of this, especially when you were reading that excerpt from Sabrina Stream's book, again, it's why I'm glad you brought up Anglo-Saxon, because the reason why I bring all of this up, what happens in antiquity, is that we get a lot of our contemporary ideas, especially in the U.S., all the sort of racist stereotypes, ideals, white supremacist rhetoric, and ideology, it comes from antiquity. It comes from Aristotle. So from on the right and the left, you know, the white right and left, they're using Aristotle. Marx is using Aristotle. Fucking Waldo Emerson and them, they're following Aristotle. Aristotle are people who you would call proto-racists. Before race, these motherfuckers was finding a way to be racist, to say slavery is really good for the economy and it's natural.
Yeah.
That's what Aristotle said. It's natural for some people to be enslaved.
Yeah.
Some people are just slavish. You understand? And then they took that and they transmuted that and they used that to justify the enslavement of black people and the colonization of black people across the globe. Yeah. It's the same shit that they're using now against us. Yeah. These ideas about beauty and all of that shit come from that. The Greeks were obsessed with beauty. They was also obsessed with being pedophiles, but they were
which is how is that not present right now?
We're a whole present
right now.
And everybody's just like, yeah, it's normal to see commercials of people sticking themselves with insulin medication that other people need.
Big advertisements in Times Square, which millions of people visit, which is going lower. Thank God people stopped visiting here because of Trump. Literally, the tourist numbers are decreasing. Thank God, save yourselves. Spend your money somewhere else. But to see these big billboards with people sticking themselves with needles talking about, I'm happier now.
Feel better. I was on Subway. Motherfucking GLP-1 ad was look better, feel better, be better. Damn near. Be better.
This is
because there's something wrong with you.
But it's all based in how this country looks.
How
Make America great again. Y'all Americans are seen as, you know, they relate to white Americans as fat and lazy everywhere else around the world. You know that, right?
Yes, they do.
So the GLP-1s is inside of Make America Great Again. It used to be that Americans thought that Great Britain and the Irish were fat. No. Not anymore. It's white Americans are fat. And that's a problem. That's bad.
And what you've been talking about is that you see with people like these famous black celebrities endorsing these GLP-1s and all of this and talking about skinny talk and, you know, black people, this rhetoric.
Cardi B,
all of these motherfuckers. It's not just a distancing from black people. It's a trying to get closer and nearer to that ideal, trying to curry favor with white people.
But within that is a distancing from black people.
It is, but do you think it's more about I repudiate everything that black is about?
Yes.
Or that I valorize and believe that everything white is good?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I think they're happening at the same time. It's I agree. Why would you post that selfie, Naomi? You too black. They might as well have said that.
No, they say you don't look like
Alandria, you don't deserve to be with anybody. You're too black.
Again, for the same reason we talking about we live in the United States and that we're American. when this is stolen land is the same reason why people is going online in droves saying that this person is ugly because they look black and they posted a selfie. And I don't like the way they look because I don't really like how I look. That's all these people on the internet.
And how you look means so much. That's the part that I want to toggle with. It's like, why does it mean so much?
What else does the convention govern?
What's happening up here?
But besides attraction, we talking about the convention, the norm, the standard. What else does the convention govern beside attraction?
Yes.
It's not just, oh, I want to be fucked or somebody want to fuck me. What kind of job am I getting?
Yeah.
Am I getting a job? Do I have another black person,
Yes.
fucking prominent celebrity telling me that I'm lazy as fuck? And that I can't sell my soap or sell my fucking, be a mechanic on the side or start my own business because I don't have a lot of money.
Yep.
And me not having a lot of money means that I'm not perfect, that I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
I got rappers telling me I'm broke every 5 fucking seconds. Rappers that was just as broke as me, that all they rap about is how they used to be broke.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When you are white, you get to be held harmless. Like you said, white people don't have to really, if we really was to put the ideal on them, the convention and the standard, they don't be meeting it. They are the main ones pushing and endorsing the GLP-1s.
Yep.
They are the main ones that own the pharmaceutical companies that are developing the weight loss medicines.
And inside of the conversation of Nick and Alandria is the only person that's answering questions about her racial identity with this white man.
Yeah.
I have not heard Nick answer not one single solitary question about being with a black woman. Not
and that's the question
and
that
nobody
should be asked.
Is asking.
Yes.
Most of these white publications, even New York Times, I didn't ask him that.
Why not?
Why is Sweet Green, who Nick just did a partnership with, why didn't they ask? They talking about he's a countryman. Where's the conversation about race? I'm not expecting Sweet Green to do that. But where with these other...
Why not expect Sweet Green to do it?
Because there's no expectation for white people at all. None. Zero. They just have to exist.
They have to exist. And
even Trump. How does Trump have a partner? How do you?
But that's what I'm saying. The world that we live in, y'all. I'm like, you got to start to look. You literally look in the mirror and you look at yourself and you say, "What have I been told about me?" I don't think Ebony, me, myself, I've never thought of myself as ugly.
I used to look in the mirror as a kid and I'd be like, why do people, I'm so cute. Why do people think that I'm ugly? But I seriously was asking. Like I was genuinely asking, like, I don't understand what's wrong with my face.
But you weren't expecting the answer to matter. Your answer back to yourself didn't matter. It's what others think.
Yes. Yes.
We've mapped racial hierarchy onto everything. On how I think about myself, it goes into a hierarchy of other people have to think that I'm beautiful in order for me to be beautiful.
We talked about this. I know we have to end soon, but desirability informs so much. It also informs who you are willing to fight for. Right. And I think we are 100% in a conversation of, in this country, people not giving two shits about what Black Americans are dealing with, to the point where prominent celebrities talking about y'all need to get a job. Right. That is completely missing from a whole conversation of race, right? If you didn't know that statistic about Black women, you know racism. You know how hard it is to get a job. Like for people just to be like, get a job is so void.
But even those statistics, y'all are not even tracking how many Black trans women also have the highest unemployment rate.
Palestine has become this virtue signaling piece that people use, not Congo or Sudan.
And even then, there's not people looking at, okay, who are the actors? The United States is in bed with the UAE and Saudi Arabia, which is funding the genocide in Sudan. The United States ain't never going to place sanctions. They could place sanctions on the UAE for their abuses in funding the genocide against Black African groups in Sudan, in Darfur. They won't do it. Why? They won't do it for the same reasons they're not going to do it to Israel. The same reason why right now, motherfucking Young Thug, you talking about some motherfucking Glorilla. I bet you ain't saying that about none of them COs in there. I bet you didn't call them ugly.
Or your record deal, whatever
who the
company, the head of your record owner. Hello.
Y'all motherfuckers ain't calling Lucian Grange and Scooter Braun.
Drake is calling Lucian Grange out.
He's not called him ugly. He ain't made a whole album about that.
No, he didn't.
I wonder why.
He taking them to court.
Who we fear. Who we fear is oftentimes people who we want to be seen by, desired by.
Yes.
Who we fear is often people we want to be
also
desired by.
Who we fear is often the people we want to be desired by is a word. Yes. And also, you disobeying conventional beauty standards triggers a lot of people. And I request that y'all continue to disobey conventional beauty standards.
Eurocentric white beauty standards.
Eat the fucking Doritos. Eat the bag of gummy bears, okay? But I have a bag of Haribo gummy bears, and I don't want to hear nothing about no other gummy bears. Haribo gummy bears are elite, are at the top, and they are so delicious. Every night, I just have a little tiny bowl.
I have to add a hood wrap perspective to that. You eat the Haribo gummy bears, the sugar that's being cultivated by these large sugar companies.
Do not ruin my midnight snack.
The fucking
Should
Doritos,
I have a piece of
all
lettuce
of that.
With some
but
fucking
it doesn't.
salt and
but that's the thing. It's like we're thinking that's what they want you to do.
All I'm saying is
they want you just like that nigga in the cafe wanted you to buy something. Dorito wants you to buy to.
I'm gonna give you the hood rat to head rat perspective. Eat what is available to you. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what it is impacting something, someone, some community. You are not holier than thou for being a vegan, for not eating the sugar. You're going to have something. Unless you were growing it in your backyard and your cherry tomatoes and your kale that's in your garden.
We're going to have a food sovereignty episode because
but I want motherfuckers to eat. Disobey Eurocentric beauty standards. Push up against those. Do not try to fit yourself into these boxes. Don't stick yourself with a fucking GLP-1 needle. Cut that shit out.
And y'all are taking away available insulin medication from people who need them for their life.
And y'all are not eating. The GLP-1s stop you from eating.
But people are not eating because they feel their life depends on it.
Yeah, they're not eating though. They're not eating.
That's the thing.
No, but I'm saying the GLP-1s stop you from eating.
We have to eat to live, but now in this unnatural way of life, you literally don't eat so that you can live a better life and you can be better. But I will add this in the end: these early proto-racists, before the 18th century or early 19th century, they were also saying and writing. In 2nd, 3rd, 4th century, they're going to Africa on these missions, and they said, "Oh, the Ethiop, that's what they're called, or the Blackamoor, the generalized term for dark-skinned black peoples." That they would encounter in Africa, they said those are the most beautiful people. Those are the most beautiful women. But then how do you fast forward years later? Now they're the most ugly and the most vile. So y'all have to think about how this desire to be thin and to be white and pretty is moving and also coinciding with multiple genocides that are happening against black people.
Yeah.
Were there no commercials about what's happening to black? The police brutality has not ended.
Yeah.
That hasn't stopped. There are many black people in America who are still being killed. There are people like Young Thug that ain't never getting out of jail.
I thought he was out.
We have a prison. He isn't. He's out. But there's people who never getting out. The fact that we have a military prison industrial complex.
That part.
The Haribos, the GLP-1s, the Doritos.
Eat.
They're all in there.
All I'm saying is to eat.
I tell.
What is that? What is real quick? What's the icebreaker? What's the media that informs your desirability politic? Go quick.
Pretty Brown Eyes by Mint Condition. Because when I was
the video?
No, the song. Pretty brown eyes. And I was like, damn, I want somebody with brown eyes. And look, I have that.
You do have that.
And I was like, oh shit, like I have brown eyes. Like, that's cool. You never hear a song say pretty brown eyes.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. My by Johnny Gill. I just was like, I guess when I grow up, I need to wear a silk dress and a red lip to turn them hoes. I guess I need to do that.
Well, you do it. Well, you did it. And you did. Thank you, Johnny Gill. That's my birthday twin. Johnny Gill, my birthday twin. And also the L word absolutely informed my politics. I was like, for better or worse.
I need to look like Shane to get girls, or I need to get a Tasha. And I did.
Well, you just brought it back.
I never looked like
Shane.
That
was the Anglo-Saxon. That was the Anglo-Saxon angle.
Yes.
There you go. We love y'all.
We love y'all. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy.
We'll have another part of this. I think this is an ongoing conversation.
Hey, no more parts.
No more parts. Desirability determines how you live or you die. Love y'all. Sorry, Wolf. Did we go over? No, we right on the dot.
Yay.
Why you was rushing me, baby? We was right on the dot.